overweight?
No, I don't at all. No.
If I can ask you that, is there one thing from your past life, what would that be?
Not in terms of physical features, anything, but I think people conceived me as more funny when I was a bit overweight and chubby. Like things I would do, it will amuse people more back then. But if I do the same thing now, as a fit person, it sometimes doesn't fit well as funny with them because they're so used to seeing me in a different way.
That's interesting that you say that, because I remember once you said that people take you more seriously now. So does
Yes,
that mean that you looked funny before just because you were
yes,
overweight?
yes, absolutely. I think so. Looking funny and also, you know, I think being overweight objectifies you in a funny way. If you are kind of a very social person, talk to everyone in a funny way, it's good if you're fat because people will understand you more. But then when you switch to serious mode, people don't take you seriously.
Right.
If I-
Um, I get that completely. I understand that because I struggle with weight as well. You underwent a surgery to lose weight.
Yes.
Surgery is not an everyday decision that you make. Can you take us through that? What led you to that point?
Well, I've been a big person for quite some time. So say I would say as young as when I was in year 7 or year 8, I was quite um, big compared to my peers and friends at that time. And I've been very comfortable, you know, maintaining that way of life for a very long time until when did I do the surgery? 27 to 28, 28 actually, 28. So good 15 years or 20 years that I have been very comfortable being overweight and being used to the life that I had. But then um, what made me decide was I would say when you grow older and wiser and you figure out, oh, I'm probably missing out on things that other people can do. Um, you know, get tired so quickly, not be able to have an active outdoor life. And I like taking photographs. I like traveling. Um, Being overweight, in a way, does not help you to do those things in a very busy lifestyle in Sydney. And also that fact that I felt that genuinely that people don't take me seriously. When I'm joking, it's fine. They absolutely get my jokes. They laugh their heads off when I'm having a funny conversation. But when that same individual switches to uh, serious mode, people don't conceive what I was trying to explain, and they don't take me in that serious manner. So I thought, okay, it's better time. It's better I change my persona, and I thought the best way to do that would be get a new like invent a new self.
Invent a new self. I like that. How much have you lost?
So before surgery, the heaviest I was, I think, 156. And like you have to show the surgeon some intention. So you have to lose some weight prior to surgery. So he gave me a goal weight to lose before surgery of 8 kilo in 6 months, I think. So we did that. So I was 148 at the time of surgery, and post surgery, I went as low as 82 kilos.
Sadi, I know a lot of people who, in the process of losing weight, they lose their mind as well. Did you feel that when you lost weight, you became a bit angry? Or let me ask you, did you go through any mood swings?
Yes, because when I was big and fat, I didn't care. So I was apathetic to whatever was happening around me. I was 150 kilos. What it's gonna make difference? What do I wear? What do I say? Because I had that set mentality that, oh, people just think I'm funny. They don't think I'm serious. So why even try? Why even bother trying? But when you see yourself in a different way, then you become very conscious of what's happening around you. And oh, should I wear this? Should I say this? Because now people take me seriously. So I better not be like a lot of people say that I have lost a bit of my uncanny sense of humor now, because now I think more before I speak. But before I just didn't.
Mhm.
I still don't in many occasions, but I think previously I was just, I was just uncontrollable. I would just say whatever I want to say. I would just do whatever I wanted to do. But now I'm more reserved in my actions, which is, good or bad in both ways. And that probably brings in the mood swings here and there because people, it's funny how just a matter of losing and gaining weight can be uh, linked with so many other things, just not physical, but mental, personal. You know, it's tremendous. It's a huge, huge journey.
Sadi, earlier on, you said that you were always a big child
Mm.
and you were comfortable with that. How do you remain comfortable with the one who is the odd one out? Because from the society that we are, there are not many big children in one class. So you are someone who is not a part of the crowd, but
Yeah,
still you are very
somehow
happy.
comfortable. Yeah,
Exactly. How does that work?
it's just a barrage of thing that happens to you from all different directions that makes you just apathetic. Like when I think it says when you um, like if somebody comes to you in an emergency room and if like there'll be people that are just crying with a scratch and then someone with a huge injury, he's just numb, he just can't feel anything. So I think for me, at that time it was a bit of like I just didn't get the difference because that was the being that way for such a long time and being looked at as a big fat kid for such a long time, it makes your feelings numb. The wrong feeling becomes the right feeling.
You did not know otherwise.
I did not know otherwise. Correct.
Right, right. When you look back now, and if you can change one thing about your childhood related to yourself being overweight, what would that
Hmm.
be?
I think eating discipline. It's not I ate unhealthy, but I think the discipline of eating was not absolutely non-existent. Having working parents and being raised by family members and not being raised like, yes, obviously my parents raised me as well, but most of the time overseeing everything else, it would be either ourselves or house help or a family member. So it wasn't like I didn't have that strict uh, parenting that I probably needed at that time. So that probably contributed a bit.
Either you eat unhealthy or you don't eat unhealthy, but you eat very fast. These two are the main factors of gaining weight. And
Hmm.
you have told me in the past that you used to eat very fast. Have
Super fast.
always, have always,
Yes.
you were a speedy eater.
It's incredible how much I could eat at a very short amount. It's unthinkable now. Like we used to, like I remember in school, recess period, kids would get, from the school cafeteria, you would get something fried, a burger, or some sort of a snack. And back in those days, we had that drink. I don't know if you it's like a mango juice comes in a glass bottle. It's basically sugar syrup. It's thick as like even a drop. It's more stickier than a Coke. We used to have competitions that how fast could someone drink one. I could drink one in less than 10 seconds. It's
Wow.
it's mad. It's insane. And Coke, a bottle of Coke. I was never a big Coke drinker, but if I had to drink one, and on those uh, drinking games for school kids, I could drink one in less than 10 seconds.
Sari, what makes one eat fast? What's going on in your mind?
It's just, you don't think what you're doing, because then you're just eating to satisfy yourself, and you keep eating until you're satisfied. Not that eating to fulfill your hunger, you are eating to satisfy yourself.
Absolutely. Uh, we always hear certain things that our parents or our guardians, uncles, aunts, when we are younger, they always say that eat slow, you should chew your food enough,
Yes.
there's no hurry, take it easy. And I just realized when you were talking about it that most of the times, even from their side, it becomes a ritual to say those things. Not that they
Yeah.
don't mean it, but they're
Mm,
not right. They're not actually saying it.
mm,
They are just saying the words, but
yeah.
they're not delivering that energy to the child where the child actually feels it and
Yeah.
acts on it. So I think that's important that the adults should actually connect with the child
Mm.
when the child is having food and say all these things in a way that he practices that as well.
Explain better, I think. Like, why should somebody eat slowly? Why should somebody not? Like, something that, you know, when I had the explanation made complete sense. Why shouldn't one drink and eat at the same time? Like, when you're eating fast, you're not chewing your food properly. So it gets stuck around your neck, and you then wash it with water, and then water is heavy. It presses down your stomach and it makes your stomach bigger. That's a irreversible damage in short term, because your stomach just does not squeeze back to the position in one day. When
Mm.
you've prolonged, you have prolonged bad habit of doing same. It's like you eat fast, food gets stuck, you drink water, and you wash it down, and you do it every day in every single spoonful that you take. And we obviously eat with hands, so our portions are even bigger, and that continuously keeps making your stomach bigger. And after 6 months, your stomach is no longer the size of a standard human being, and
Mm.
even if you want to eat less, you cannot. Like, if somebody told me that story in a way that I would have understood at a young age, I would not do what I did.
You just mentioned earlier on that when you came to Australia and you were in your initial struggling period, uh, studying, doing odd jobs,
Mm.
do you blame that time for that final blow in your weight gain where you could not return?
No, I would. It was actually good when I initially came in. I was working very hard, and first time probably in my life I was doing stuff that is physical. I was active back at home. You know, I would go out, meet with friends, travel, and all that. But um, I never did anything physical. So I think initially when I came in and was doing odd jobs and studying, you know, sleeping a less amount of time than before, I actually lost weight without doing anything, just by maintaining the regular lifestyle. But I think the biggest damage was done post studies, when, you know, there was no physical work involved, and I got my first job in finance, and I was a mess, because, you know, I was very used to them for five years, going out, doing physical work, packing shelves, working in kitchens, you know, doing that kinds of things, and being very physically active all day long. I am continuously moving, because trust me, I was eating very bad. The only way I didn't end up, you know, my heart didn't end up, you know, exploded, is because I probably still was doing a lot of things physical. And when I moved to a desk job, it's just tremendous. I think in 1 year, I gained about 15 or 20 kilos. I was working um, at first job was a brokerage in North Ryde. I was 122 kilo-ish. And they were very good people. My first employer, they're one of the best people, and they used to take us on lunches and dinners and excursions every week. It's a small business, and they treated us like their children. So they were very nice people. Um, and then I worked for Toyota. So say in a span of 2 years or 26 months, I went from 122 to over 140. And it was just, it became like a moment that, oh, geez, I can't, to get up from the car seat, it hurts. To
Mm.
turn in the bed while I'm sleeping, I feel, oh, it's too much. I'll just sleep like, in one side. And that's when I was thinking, geez, that's not normal. I
Mm.
might have had, I might have had the misconception that whatever happened until 120 was normal, but this is no longer normal. Like, I cannot be, uh, mid 20s man and not be able to do normal stuff like that. That's frightening.
That's it's so interesting that you say that, that you were unable to
Mm.
turn in bed
Yeah,
because that was too much work. But at
yeah.
the same time, you were functioning at a very high level of productivity, stress, achieving targets, and all those things. So
That's
maybe
mental. The mental energy has always been there. It was just, I was just lagging and lagging. And I think I always had that gap of mental and physical energy, but it was close. But I think that gap kept on increasing, and that's when things happened, and the mind clicked that I should be doing something about this. It's getting out of
absolutely.
hand.
Absolutely. You are a new person now. You are not the person which I met when I met you for the first time and today. Of course, spiritually, from the soul point of view, you are as beautiful as ever, but physically, you're an entirely different person. And of course, I don't meet you very often. Your friends don't meet you very often, but your wife, your lovely, beautiful wife, she lives with you. So, how does she deal with this big change?
Initially, it was hard because normally when we would go somewhere together, she would be the center of conversation. People would talk about her, but now people talk about me and they don't stop talking about me because it's not every day they see a person that's lost 50 kilos. Like, my wife weighs 50 kilos, so I have lost a person equal to her in weight just in myself. So initially, I think it was quite tough for her not to, like, it's not like she wants to be the center of attention, but people still, you will get sick sometime that, oh, you go everywhere. You go to the grocer, you go to the hairdresser, you go to your vitamin shop, you go to your car service guy, and everyone's talking about Ikram or Sadee. And, you know, it's like I don't even exist there.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
Initially, it was hard, but then she slowly started to realize, and, after a certain time, it normalized again that, okay, people now, and, I've moved from Sydney to Canberra. People that see me in Canberra, that they know me like this, they don't know me the previous self. And people have moved on as well. The old other people that knew me from before, they have moved on. They talk about other things now, so
Mm.
it's good now.
Awesome. That's great. No, hats off to her. Sari, I lost a few kilos
Hmm.
and I was taking selfies and posting that on social media, just a few kilos, because I personally don't like taking my own photos. I don't like certain angles, as we all, most of us, we don't like our own certain angles. And those are the only angles I have. Um, but when I lost a few kilos, I was taking selfies, I was taking my own shots, and I was just posting them on. I saw that you recently visited Bangladesh, your home country,
Yeah,
and there was a complete chronicle of your whole travel, and you met people, family, friends,
yeah,
all everyone from your childhood, and I could see that how beautiful that whole journey was for you, and you were so happy.
yeah.
How did people respond to the new Sadi?
Well, they still love me for who I was. I have, you know, been very close to all my friends and relatives over the years. So when I visited after 5 years, especially my aunts and grand aunts, they were really scared that, oh, you know, how you doing? This is a big change, or you didn't need to do anything like that. You were beautiful as always, like, how they say. And friends, they found it, I think some of them found it really inspiring. Like a couple of the friends came over to me and saying, they have been suffering. They have been fit all their life. Their situation's completely opposite. They have been fit all their life, but they started desk job and they became very unfit. These are kids that, I'm talking about, they were playing football, playing cricket, playing table tennis. So they were very active kids. And now you look at them, oh my God, what happened to you?
Mm.
Like, where's that extremely fit, not a single ounce of fat guy? And who is this? Like, they look different. I see my old self in them, and they came in and they had a chat like, what? How did you do it? I mean, I obviously didn't lie that I did it all by myself. I told them that I was at a phase that I couldn't come back, so I needed surgical assistance. But I told them some basics that my surgeon and dietitian said that once you lose the weight, what do you do to maintain it? Limited, proper portioning of your meals, how you eat, introduction of physical activities slowly, but you know, every day or in some capacity. So, they took it really well, and they were really happy to see me.
Amazing. It's not as simple as having a surgery and losing weight. It involves, I think, even more willpower, discipline, and stamina to lose weight by having a surgical procedure. Why? Because if we go to the beginning, you mentioned that even before the surgery, you had to prove to your surgeon that you could lose weight, and you lost
Yes,
8 kilos at the
8 kilos.
peak of your weight. And
Yes.
losing 8 kilos at
Mm.
120 or 130, when you weigh 120 and 130 kilos, is almost like next to impossible. And you did that. Great. After that, you went through a surgical procedure. That is amazing. And then you have maintained that. You saw a psychologist, you went through the whole thing. So it's not easy. It is a very difficult journey, and you have been through it.
Mm.
There are so many people who want to consider surgical procedure as an option to lose weight. What would you tell them? What would you say to them?
The only thing I would want to say that, they should not see the surgery as a quick solution. It is not going to be the end of every problem that they have. It is going to give them a very good head start. Probably the best head start that they can get when they are at a level that I was. But it does come with certain extremely, how to say, guidelines around your lifestyle that you have to have to abide by, no matter what. I remember once my psychologist said that, you know, uh, don't just do things because people expect you to do things after the surgery. Don't just go to a relative's house and because they have like 20 different dishes and they're all delicacies, don't go and nibble on all 20 of them. Think what you have achieved and uh, control your, like, don't do it just because you can do it or just because you think, oh, if I don't eat all of that, the host will be not happy. You would think that I didn't like the food. Don't think what other people are thinking. Think about yourself. Think about the journey you have taken and think about how hard the journey was and think that if you do this, you will, all of your hard work would be spoiled. Another day he told me, I think this was one of the very first sessions where he asked you to close your eyes and think, imagine yourself doing something. And I said, oh, I imagine myself on a very sunny day somewhere in the coastal area, east coast of New South Wales. Very sunny, bright day, not a no clouds in the sky, totally blue skies, and I'm wearing a nice sunglass, a blue jeans, and a yellow t-shirt. Oh, yellow, yeah, yellow t-shirt, I think that's it. And I'm just looking at the horizon and having a time of my life, just enjoying the view. And uh, he said, just remember this view of yourself. And whenever you think you are going to do something that you shouldn't, bring that image back into action. Like I feel that I should. I have not thought about that picture recently. That's why I have been, not exercising enough. But now that I talk with you, I remember that conversation, and that will drive you again not to do the wrong thing. And just do it for yourself. There will be a lot of peer pressure. People will try to feel like, a lot of my family, they would find sometimes me that I'm being rude or abrupt, straying, saying on the face, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to eat that. Don't force me to eat. I came, you invited me, I came to have a good time, not to eat. Eating is not everything. I'm having a chat with you, I'm seeing you. That's, I'm enjoying that. I don't have to have food in the equation to make it more enjoyable. It will only waste it.
Well, I don't blame them if they don't recognize you anymore, because that's not the Sadi that they know. That's amazing. Maybe the last question, Sadi,
Yes.
and that is, um, I have always known you as a high functioning person. You are a man from the world of finance, complex at lots of level, and mashallah, you have worked very well through it. After the transition, have you
Mhm,
felt that your mental capability or
mhm.
ability to decipher the codes of finance, they have slightly slowed down?
Yes and no, maybe. This one's a mixed answer. The doctor warned me, because after the surgery, he said that I might have an issue with concentrating on things, be a bit forgetful, because there might be a deficiency of vitamin B, because my stomach is going to be smaller and it would not absorb enough. So I think that's the scientific side of things that he explained to me. And um, yes, there was times that I thought that I wouldn't forget this before, but now I forget it. And like I found it hard to concentrate initially. Yes, absolutely. But with time, I think I'm getting better. But if I answer honestly, yes, I think there is a gap, and probably the vitamin B deficiency explains that in some way. But yes, there is a bit of, uh, you know, I tend to go off topic, which probably has happened within the interview quite a few times.
Well,
I try to.
that was even before this whole thing happened as well.
That was in a completely different
Yeah.
way, that we would start talking about food, and then we would end up about a conspiracy theory about
Absolutely.
something else. But now it's that one was, and back then it was a normal way of conversation, but now I just sometimes get lost in
Mm,
the middle of
mm,
something, and I try, like, oh, okay, where was I have to gather myself again.
mm. Well, I would just I see that in a way that the fact that you have an insight to this is a sign that it's only a transitional thing, and you will get out of it soon.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'm really proud of you, Sadi. You've done an amazing thing, and I'm very confident that you will never go back there again, and you will take good care of yourself.
And I want you to know that you play a big part in what has happened in the last 5 years in my life. So you are very important,
Likewise.
extremely important.
Likewise. Likewise. Thank you so much, Sadi. Very kind of you.